Okay, so get this. Our listeners send in some pretty interesting stuff for this deep dive.
Yeah.
It looks like we've got a hauling service
Mm-hmm.
and a children's literacy program.
Sounds interesting.
It does sound interesting.
Definitely.
So we're talking about Trash Be Gone hauling,
Okay.
and they basically help people get rid of all their junk.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Makes sense.
You call them up when you've got a bunch of stuff you need to get rid of,
Right.
and they haul it away.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, we have the Read Each Day program.
Okay.
And this was created by Nona Moysu.
Uh-huh.
And she's the author behind the Leaves series.
The Leaf series.
Yeah, and these are children's books.
Okay.
So we've got pea leaves, corn leaves, and pumpkin leaves.
So all kinds of leaves.
All kinds of leaves.
I got it.
Yeah, and you can find these books online and in bookstores.
Oh, right. Cool.
So how are these two connected?
Well, that's the interesting thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not just that they're working together, but how they're doing it. I think it's a really, really clever partnership.
Okay, so tell me more about this.
Well,
How are they working together?
so Trash Be Gone is a big supporter of this program,
Okay.
the Read Each Day program.
Okay.
In fact, Nona Moysu herself actually reached out to us
Oh, wow.
to thank us for taking a look at this partnership.
That's awesome.
So they've got these huge QR code magnets
Okay.
on all the sides of the Trash Be Gone trucks.
I've seen those.
Yeah, you probably have, and they all promote Read Each Day.
Oh, wow.
But here's the really cool part about this.
What's that?
The QR code is designed to look like a TV screen.
Well, that's pretty smart.
It's a great way to capture a kid's attention, you know?
Yeah.
A plain black and white square,
Right.
that's not exactly the most exciting thing in the world,
Not for a 5-year-old.
especially not for a little kid, no.
Right.
But if you make it look like a TV,
Yeah.
suddenly you've got something familiar.
And intriguing.
Yeah, exactly.
So what happens when you scan one of these QR codes?
Well, you get taken to a page with info
Oh.
all about the Read Each Day program.
Right.
And there's some info on sponsors
Oh, cool.
and even recipes.
Wow, they really thought of everything.
Yeah, it's a pretty comprehensive page.
So this seems like a really good deal for both sides.
Oh, absolutely.
How so?
Well, Trash Be Gone gets to associate themselves with literacy,
Okay.
which is a really positive thing,
Yeah.
and it helps them reach a whole new audience.
You mean families?
Yeah, exactly. Families with young children.
So they're marketing to parents through their kids.
In a way, yeah.
That's really smart.
And for Read Each Day, this is basically free advertising.
Right, because they don't have to pay for the truck.
Exactly. They get highly visible mobile advertising.
And they probably couldn't afford that on their own.
Right. They probably have to pay a lot for a billboard or something.
Wow. It's amazing how this all came together.
I think it's a great example of a win-win.
It really is.
Both sides are benefiting from
And
it.
I was thinking about Nona Moysu,
Yeah.
you know, the author.
Mm.
And this might be a little bit of a stretch.
Okay.
But remember our deep dive a while back
Which one?
on anonymity?
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, her name is actually an anagram for anonymous.
Oh, wow. You're right.
Do you think there's a connection there?
That's a good question.
Or am I just like,
I mean, it could just be a coincidence.
yeah, maybe I'm looking too deep into this.
It's possible, but it's definitely interesting.
It's pretty interesting.
It does make you think about the author's choices.
Right.
Why did she choose that name?
And what about privacy?
Especially in today's digital age.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Where everything is so public.
It's definitely something to think about.
It is.
So what's the big takeaway from all of this?
Well, I think this partnership shows us
What?
that we need to think differently about promoting literacy.
Okay.
You don't always need a huge budget
Hmm.
or a fancy ad campaign.
Right.
Sometimes a little creativity can go a long way.
And the right partner. So this QR code idea is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But do we know if it's actually effective?
Well, that's the question, isn't it?
Yeah, like, are kids actually scanning these things?
I wish I knew.
Yeah, me too.
It would be interesting to see their data,
What do you mean?
like how many people are scanning the codes
Okay.
and how they measure engagement.
Right, because that's how you know if it's working.
Yeah, exactly.
And I guess not every kid has a smartphone.
Yeah, you've got a point there.
So maybe it's not reaching everybody.
That's true.
But I still think it's a good idea.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's starting a conversation about literacy.
And getting people to think outside the box.
And who knows? Maybe this will inspire other businesses.
I hope so.
Yeah, maybe they'll come up with their own literacy initiatives.
Imagine the possibilities.
Like what?
I don't know, a bakery with cookie recipes
Okay.
and reading comprehension questions.
Oh, I like that.
Or a clothing store
Yeah,
with tags that have book recommendations on them.
that's a really cool idea.
There are all sorts of ways to promote literacy.
Yeah, you just have to be creative.
Exactly.
Well, I think that about wraps it up for this deep dive.
Sounds good.
So to all our listeners out there, keep an eye out for those trash be gone trucks.
You never know what you might learn.
You really don't. And of course, check out Nona Moysu's Leaves series.
Definitely worth a read.
And maybe we'll do a deep dive
Oh,
into that mystery another time.
that's fun.
Until then, happy reading, everybody.